everybody. Welcome back to Mindful Medicine. I'm Brianna, and this is Hannah.
Hi guys.
And today we are talking about our nurse coach entrepreneurship experience, um, being nurses and then shifting into an entrepreneur space. But before we get into all of that, we're going to start off like we start every Mindful Medicine episode with some deep cleansing breaths to kind of center and ground ourselves and regulate our nervous system. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead and relax. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Release the tension if you're holding any tension in your shoulders and your jaw and your neck. And just start to deeply breathe. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. And then release through your mouth. Take another big, deep inhale through your nose, a little bit deeper than before. Hold it at the top for just a few seconds. And then release out through your mouth. And we'll take one more big, deep inhale in, the biggest breath you've taken today so far. Hold it up at the top. And then release out through your mouth with a big sigh. All right. Kind of shake around a little bit, kind of wake up, open your eyes when you're ready, and let's get into it. All right, Hannah, do you want to introduce well, I kind of introduced it already, but kind of go into more detail about what we're talking about today.
Sure. I think it's gonna evolve as we go. But as always,
Yeah.
yeah, last week we were talking about our journeys through nursing school. Uh, Eventually we'll get back to our experiences working, in our various jobs in the healthcare system, but we've been getting asked a lot about why and how our journeys evolved into including nurse coaching, how we found it, what called us to that path. And that is how Brianna and I connected. And we're so grateful for it bringing us here today. So we're excited to share a little bit about it with you. If you're a nurse, if you're a nurse coach yourself, it might just be interesting to resonate with some of the experiences that we've had. But yeah, Brianna, do you want to let us know kind of, how you were feeling, how deep you were into your nursing career when when you found out about nurse coaching and kind of what drew you to follow that kind of
Yeah.
line?
I think I was probably maybe like 5 years into maybe not even five. How long have I been nursing? 20, oh my gosh, 9 years since I've been a nurse. Okay. So yeah, probably like 5 years into my nursing career. And that was 5 years of straight working bedside nursing, like doing nothing else. Um, I think why most people choose to go into nurse coaching or in a different career path. I was extremely burnt out, which we talked about a little bit in our last episode, but very burnt out. Um, just working in a toxic hospital culture. I didn't feel like we were really making a difference in our patients' lives. Obviously, like we were helping them and like helping them resolve whatever issue they came into the hospital for, and then sending them home to continue to do the same thing, and then they end up coming back for the same thing. And so I worked on a cardiac floor. So I was seeing a lot of like repetitive patients like coming in for chest pain or they've had a heart attack. We put stents in, we send them home, and then a year later they're back with another heart attack because, you know, lifestyle changes. We weren't really talking about that. So there
Mhm.
was like a part of the nursing and like the healthcare system I was missing, which was more of like long-lasting health changes, lifestyle changes to prevent all these things from happening to people and prevent, reoccurrence of the health issues that they're already experiencing and like make changes to become healthier and prevent them from, coming back to the hospital over and over again. And so, um, that's when I really started getting into like holistic health and like learning all about that stuff. So that kind of like introduced me into that. Um, and then I think what's crazy, I actually quit bedside for like 3 months and went into nursing research, which was awful. And I hated that. So while I was in there, I was sitting in my little cubicle in the little research department, and I had like an ad pop up. Like, I don't even remember what I was doing on my computer. It was for a nurse coaching, like certification program. And so I clicked on it and I was like, whoa, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Because it was all about, um, like changing or coaching patients on how to like have sustainable lifestyle and health changes. Um, and it was very like health focused. So not like life coaching or like business coaching or anything like that. It was like still very health oriented. And it was about, coaching people around their health and like bringing in like mind, body, spirit, all of
Mhm.
that. Sorry, my dogs are like freaking out because there's squirrels in the backyard.
Uh, I can.
Yeah. Anyway, so long story short, I ended up signing up for that. I went through the whole program, which it was great. It was all online.
Which
Um,
program was this?
that was the nurse coach
Collective. You were.
collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like muddled in my brain, like all of the names. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the nurse coach collective. They were great. Um, I feel like it was really helpful, like to like kind of get like a baseline of like what nurse coaching is. Um, which if you don't know, nurse coaching, because I could have started with that. Nurse coaching is essentially you're using your nursing experience and your background as a healthcare professional to coach people around, well, the way that I learned it was coach people around their health. So, like, you have that established authority as someone who takes care of people for a living, and you have all this medical background knowledge. So, these people come to you wanting health advice, how to overcome like their chronic illnesses or whatever they have going on. Like, they come to you and you kind of work through whatever issues, making lifestyle changes and, doing whatever. So that was what nurse coaching was originally. We'll get into all the stuff later that changed it, but that's how I was taught. So did all that. Um, and I went back to bedside while I was doing all this. And I tried to implement it in the hospital setting where I was working.
Mm.
And it's just not right now, unfortunately, like our healthcare system isn't set up to give you the time to sit down and discuss these lifestyle changes with patients. And, when you're discharging someone who just had a heart attack, like you could sit and go over diet changes, lifestyle changes, like what these foods do to your body and all these things. Like we could sit for like an hour and just talk about this stuff. But when you're working in the hospital, you don't have time to do that. Like you gotta like, okay, here's your discharge paperwork, you know, blah 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 blah. Eat a heart healthy diet. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Mm.
Like that was essentially what it was. So, um, guess that this kind of like continues into what we're going to talk about. But I want to hear why you chose to go into nurse coaching and what brought you to nurse coaching.
Yeah, I feel like all of our stories, like for most of the people I met, so I went through the Integrative Nurse Coach Academy, INCA, which I think was the founding nurse coach program. There are, like you said, many of them are very similar. And I had a really nice experience with that as well. But yeah, so I went through and had been working as a RN for 8 years or so, and then got my pediatric NP degree, nurse practitioner degree, and was working in that position for 2.5, 3 years, and was feeling in a chronic pain clinic for kids, and was feeling super out of alignment. I did have the space. I'm grateful. I had the space to talk about lifestyle changes with them. But again, like you said, like the appointments are all shorter than you would like. I couldn't bill for my time that I wanted to spend
Mhm.
doing coaching or leading them in mindfulness and teaching them. We're like, you do X, Y, and Z, but we don't help them to learn how to do that and navigate it in their particular life setup,
Right.
because you can give everybody information, but unless their environment is supportive of it, the change isn't going to happen. And that was the frustration that I was seeing, is that, okay, I'll see you back in 3 months after we prescribe this med. Come back in 3 months or get a phone call even before then. Nothing's changed. My kid needs a new prescription. Can you increase the dose? And it just felt like, I was a pill factory and was really intentionally trying not to be, but that was kind of like the design of the clinic. I was refilling these medications. We did have a psychologist. We had a pretty holistic clinic. We had an acupuncturist. We had cognitive behavioral therapy. We would refer to PT. So we had all of these amazing resources, but they were limited, right? Like you
Mhm.
could have hundreds and hundreds of patients, and your psychologist can only see so many of them. So the idea and the setup was there. They loved the idea of me getting my nurse coaching, but the system itself wasn't supportive of the approach that would support these kids in the best way possible in reality. And uh, I would see data from research trials saying that in these placebo-controlled trials, placebo actually had more benefit, if like the same, if not more benefit to these seizure meds like topiramate that we were putting, 8-year-olds on in terms of headache days per month. And you're like, okay, there's something to that, right?
Mhm.
Like the meds aren't, for some of these kids, yes, they're absolutely necessary. They're coming off of brain surgery, traumatic brain injury. Like you're going to need medicine and intervention, and I'm so grateful for it. And for so many of them, it was so clear that anxiety and stress and pressures of school were contributing. The lifestyle of like the early morning hours and the late, late, late nights staying up doing homework, and the pressures from parents and, you know, what college you were going to get into. They're feeling it all. And I would have these quick 20-minute visits with kids and be like, we're not getting to the solution of the matter here. It's so frustrating. And so it started to feel really icky for me. And I'm like, crap, I just spent a lot of time, money, and energy going back to school, but like I can't keep doing this because I don't feel like I'm helping. I feel like I'm like in this cycle of not making anything better. And it happened a time with my clinic location moving and a bunch of things where I just ended up leaving that position. And in reality, I wish I had stayed there and found a way to work at least per diem or part time as I transitioned into nurse coaching. You and I have talked about this before. We met in a business mentorship program after our nurse coaching programs ended, where we were like, we know we want to do something and start our own business around nurse coaching. We were so inspired by it that we needed help. So we signed up for a 1 year business mentorship program. And we were in a small group of 6 or 7 women that met weekly with a lead coach. And I really valued being in a community of like-minded nurses who were either working their jobs or wanting to leave. Like we were all in similar places and needed community to know that we weren't doing this alone. Um, but yeah, reflecting back, it was a huge pivot and change. And like I come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad has always been a small business owner, and it's been
Oh,
kind of like in our blood. Like it's just something I've seen all the time. And so for me, it was like, oh, this makes sense. This is what we do. Um, that wasn't the case for you, I know, and for
no.
like a lot of people. So it was like totally a risky, novel idea, and you're getting a lot of like scrutiny from your family and people around you. Like, what the heck are you doing? You're leaving your stable job that you like
Yeah.
worked so hard for. Um, yeah. And so then I just dove headfirst into the deep end, and that came with its own stress. It's like, you go from the stress of working in the hospital to the stress of like, oh shit, this is real. Now I need to figure out, I did not learn how to support a business and start a business and make money and find clients. Like that wasn't something we were taught in nursing school. And so then it was like, okay, I've never had a scarcity mindset when it comes to money because I've always made like, you know, nursing salary, decent money, and it got real fast.
Yeah.
Like I have to figure this out. And I kind of wish I didn't put that pressure on myself right away. Like looking back, I wish I had kept my nursing job, maybe decreased my hours, figured out coaching or figured out a way, which I think will happen someday. And I know there are positions in the hospital that are supportive for nurse coaches now, but there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there are some badass nurse coaches who are like paving the way to creating roles in the hospital. And I think I could have if I had pushed hard enough, but I was kind of over it.
Yeah.
And I was excited about this, and I still am. So I know that I like, you know, followed the right path, but it definitely hasn't been easy. And I'm so glad that we've had each other throughout this and like our a little crew of women to support us. But yeah, those hardships of the transition then into the entrepreneurial world are what inspired our nurse coach meditation collection because it is such a niche and unique um, experience, but there's a lot of us doing it now. And we felt like we needed resources again that we didn't have looking back, just like the nursing student collection.
Yeah. 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 The coaching container that we were in together, um, I I was still working full time in the hospital because I had to pay for the coaching
Yeah,
because that stuff's not
it was
cheap.
an investment.
Yeah. And before, like this morning, before we started recording, I was thinking to myself, like, do I regret doing that? And I don't think that I do because, like, and I guess I can touch on this a little bit, but it didn't, my path did not end up the way that they wanted it to go, I guess, or how I initially thought it was going to go myself. Um, and so it's not necessarily like I wasted that money because if I didn't do all of this and like go through this and then meet you and meet all the other girls, like we wouldn't be here right now. Like mindful medicine wouldn't exist.
Mhm.
Um, and it's such a journey looking back the way like to see how mindful medicine like came to be.
Yeah.
Remember we were gonna go into nursing schools and and help nursing students. I don't even remember what we were gonna do. Nursing
Yeah.
students and help them. I think it was more like focusing on their like mental health and like introducing mindfulness in nursing schools.
Mhm.
But then, yeah, so like we shifted and we lost members along the way, and it just kind of evolved on its own over the years to this. And this is great. But
And it's
um,
like so transformative. Like
yeah,
you're saying, like you grew so much. We both have grown so much through the uncomfy parts of it.
yeah,
Like there was a lot that wasn't ideal, but I feel like you and I are able to move through hard things so much easier now because of the leap of faith that we took into something totally different
yeah.
than what we went to school for, what we expected. And that's pretty cool. Like anytime someone has a small business idea, I'm like, do it. Even if it doesn't work out, do it because you're gonna grow a shit ton.
Yeah. Like you were gonna face like the most like I guess like your shadow self, like your like every negative thought you have about yourself, every insecurity, every anything like will come out in that
Like a
journey.
mirror. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so like that aspect of it was great. And it was so much like self-development and like doing the work on yourself. And that I do appreciate that. Um, because I feel like they did focus on that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just so I guess to give context, this container we were in was a business coaching group for nurse coaches. So it was nurse coaches, you've graduated, you've got your certification that you went through a certification course to be a nurse coach, and you're in this business coaching container led by other nurse coaches who have been doing this and have been successful. And they're teaching us how to run a business as a nurse coach. And I think if you've seen any like business coaching like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, it essentially follows like that same thing, right? Like you have to post every day and you've got to niche down and find your like your niche and not be so like spread out, and you're gonna make like this much money this month and that's your goal. And it was a lot of it was very like business driven.
Cold connections were the biggest thing for
Yes.
me.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
That
I'm gonna
was,
show up in your DMs.
I think I repressed all of that. I think didn't we had a uh like a competition to see like how many like I don't even remember what
Knows.
it was. Like how many like cold call or like people just random people you could like reach out to.
The no challenge. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How many no's can you get?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that scarred me because I repressed all of that.
Yeah, there were definitely some big parts that gave me the ick, but still I wouldn't regret it because I think you got to go through a lot of that just
Yeah.
to figure out like what you do and don't like, and what's when you finish a program like that, like what you're actually going to stick with, what feels aligned with who you are. And that's definitely something that I don't do now.
Yeah, right. Well,
But
I think it was good to practice. I think it was just it was forced too fast to like you need to figure out what you're gonna do. You need to figure out the box that you're putting yourself in, and you need to go as hard as you possibly can in that area and make as much money as you possibly can. That was like the goal.
mm,
Um, and yeah, I got burnt out completely from that. And I ended up, I like, we start coaching anybody and everybody who will say yes. So you like start coaching friends and coaching family, and it's just about whatever they feel like they need help with. Um, and it's like, it wasn't even health related. It was like whatever. So that I think it kind of shifted it more towards like life coaching and more of like mindset coaching, more than like the health coaching that I was initially like getting into it for.
mhm.
Um, and I feel like they did kind of like push that a little bit more, like the life coaching and things like that. Um, but I mean, you could coach people, whatever, but
Yeah, the big theme with the nurse coaching programs is that you're not trying to like fix anyone, or at least with Inca. So you're not technically supposed to be giving advice.
right.
You're helping them to use the information and the knowledge that they have, or to get the knowledge they need to create goals and a path forward to like what their highest, healthiest self is,
Yeah.
which means it could be inclusive of literally any topic. But I understand what you're saying. I feel like my nurse coaching program was much more geared towards like coaching patients versus clients who could be anybody with anything in mind. I liked that because like we had been saying before, like you and I were both interested in psychology and counseling, and I'm like, I don't want it to be just health like
Right.
topics. I want to help people with the deep stuff. But it was a little unexpected how that pivot was possible, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like it happened really quickly.
Yeah.
And then, so you're like coaching as many people as you can for free, by the way, for free. And
Mm.
then, you start coaching and paid coaching happened over time. The more you're like putting yourself out there and you're posting on your socials and you're, marketing yourself basically. Which that part of the collective I did appreciate because I look back on like what I used to do now and I like the posts that I would make and how like vulnerable I was. Like I it's funny how I've like fallen out of that now, but like I think it
Interesting.
was helpful and
Yeah.
people do want to see that and it worked. Like I got paid clients from posting.
Yeah.
Um I got paid clients from the cold calls, like messaging random people on
Wow.
Facebook, but it didn't feel like over time it didn't feel aligned anymore. Um, and I think the issue was that it was more money driven than anything else. And what started the journey for me was wanting to help people. And it turned into, oh, well, if they can't afford it, then, whatever. Like, sorry. Or like, oh, you can't afford my exorbitant coaching package fees. Like, sorry.
Which are unfortunately not covered by insurance, which is not
No.
what we're used to. We're used to being able to just serve.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think the pressure too in that one of the biggest issues for me that kind of made me fall out of coaching for a while was, they were pushing to like raise your price, raise your price, raise your price. Oh, you've gotten four paid clients. All right, it's time to raise your prices. And it's already like so expensive. Like you keep raising prices. I remember I had hit, I don't even know. Like right off the bat, I got like so many paid clients at the beginning. And I
Yeah, you
remember
really killed it. I was like jealous of you, I remember. Yeah.
it didn't stick for very long, but at the beginning, whatever I was doing was working. And like our coach was like, all right, it's time to raise your prices. And I was like, I've literally been doing this for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it really started to go downhill was I
Hmm.
wanted more, like I was asking for more money. I didn't really want to ask for more money, but I felt pressured by
Hmm.
my coach to do that. And I didn't want to let her down, right? And obviously, like, I'm paying her so much money because she knows what she's talking about. She's made millions of dollars doing this. Like, obviously, she knows. So I'm gonna like trust what she says, but it just felt so icky. And by the time I did that so many times, like towards the end of it, I stopped charging people for these coaching packages at all. And I was like, okay, if I was just a random person and I needed help, and like if I had the potential to help someone who's coming to me, and at the time I was doing like anxiety and nervous system coaching, these people are coming to me for help, but they can't afford to drop a couple $1,000s on a coaching package with me. And I am just saying, no, I can't help you because you can't pay me money. I don't know. There was something about that that just didn't land with me.
Yeah.
And so I started just doing like one-off coaching sessions for like what you would pay like if you saw a therapist for an hour. So that's what I did. And it made me feel better. It felt more aligned. But then I don't know. Like it just I feel like the evolution of everything that happened like led up to I want to help as many people as possible to okay, well now I'm burnt out. And I think a
Yeah.
part of that too was trying to niche myself down so fast,
Hmm.
which is what these business coaching containers want you to do. It just burnt me out. Like I put myself in this box so quickly because that's how I was taught to do, and that's what I was focusing on at the time. And I was like, I know how to coach people around this, so I'll just do this. And then it just, I got tired talking about people's anxiety all the
Yeah.
time. Like, there's a group of people that comes with anxiety coaching and the niche that I was in, and it just, it didn't feel aligned anymore either. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's been a very transformative evolutionary process. But I wouldn't change anything because it all led to where we are now and where I am now.
Yeah.
It's been a very up and down roller coaster ride for sure. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing now. But you, you evolved and you like just took off like crazy just recently. So tell us how you got to this point where you're at now.
Oh man. I want to use my coaching right now and reflect on a couple of things you said before we get into that. But like what I was hearing when you were saying that is that leading with service, which is kind of what brought both of us into nursing, is was a really key thing to come back to for you. It's like when you were feeling that ick come up and that out of alignment, falling back on I want to help people and I want them to feel better and that's going to make me feel better is um, something that is basically like your home base, right? And that's something that I've used throughout my entire coaching time is that whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I don't feel like I have the right offerings right now or the most aligned clients or this or that, how can I serve my people and lend my knowledge and my skills so that I can help as many people as possible. And inevitably, that ends up coming back in a kind of like form of abundance for me, right?
Hmm.
Versus that scarcity mindset of like, I need to create clients and I need to make money and pitch you and this and that. It's like all of my clients that I have had that have been paid and long term have come from me offering free sessions at my local yoga studio or a super discounted group workshop or, you know, a loving conversation that really ended up turning into coaching. And so, like, if you are in this space and you're feeling similar to Brianna of like, um, pushed from an outside source or just like not sure what to do next, my advice is always to come back to a place of service and practicing doing what you do best, right? And then from that place is where you gain your confidence, where you gain clarity on who it is you enjoy helping the most, where you connect with people who want to work with you because they see the value in this relationship and not because you like pushed them into anything.
Hmm.
Um, so that's a big one to come back to. Trusting your intuition, right? Like you and I have talked about that over and over in all of these different episodes, including in the season of motherhood and pregnancy right now, but how at the beginning when you're doing anything new, you're going to give your um, kind of voice up to someone who seems like they're more experienced or in that leadership role, or maybe there is an imbalance because you are paying them. But I would encourage you as a nurse, if you are a nurse coach, to trust your intuition and make space to listen to it, whether that be through meditation or quiet time or journaling or a coaching conversation with a friend or a coach. Uh, Come back to what you believe is right. Brianna did that eventually. Like she was feeling the outside pressures, and I felt them as well. And I ended up sticking with a number and a rate that felt good for me and flexing as I needed, making payment plans, and sometimes, going against what the set um, mentorship recommendations were. And that was okay. And I think that's what has created my most long lasting clients is because I've worked with them when they couldn't pay me. And I was like, you know what? I see you're struggling today. I'm going to still coach you today. And we're going to create an agreement that you're going to pay me next week when your check comes in. That's all right. Like,
Yeah.
do what you got to do. You're creating these loving relationships with people that I have now coached for what, 4 years. And sometimes lifes and they can't pay you on time. Create an agreement around it. It's okay. Trust your intuition. And then I like what you called out about like the niching being something that forced you to be in a zone that didn't feel like it was sustainable.
Hmm.
I still haven't niched. Like I call myself a mindset mindfulness coach, a holistic coach, like very vague terms.
Yeah.
I like helping people and I think that's okay. Like it can be
Yeah.
I'm gonna suss it out in our discovery session if it feels like a good fit. If it doesn't, then we'll find you another resource. But there, I it's very rare that there's not someone who I feel like the holistic coaching can't help. And so you don't have to niche. I think the biggest thing is to trust your gut and your intuition if you're working with someone who doesn't have the motivation or the follow through to even show up for a discovery session or their goals that they set, then they're probably not ready for coaching. They need more therapy and groundwork first.
Yeah.
So serve, like lead with service, lead with your intuition. You don't have to niche. I would say big takeaways that I've come to after years of doing this. And yeah, constantly evolving. Every single month of my coaching career has looked a little bit different. That's the fun and beauty of it is you can pour creativity into it. You can keep changing, change your business name, your business handle 1,000 times. No one's going to care. We make a bigger deal about it, but
Yeah.
the last month I had an idea and I rolled with it, and now things that were really hard before, like filling, I'm a now a women's circle facilitator. Filling those circles was really hard, and now it's like flowing in super easily. And I think it's just like how I shifted my marketing. So, yeah, I mean, I think the best thing you can do is take the pressure off yourself. Know that you don't have to fit in any one whole category, whatever, that you can keep changing and you should. And as long as you don't give up, which Brianna and I have been at this for a while and we've had lots of flops. No, we're not giving up. I don't care if 2 people watch this video. Like, this is therapeutic for us, but I hope that it helps someone else. It's like, taking the pressure off of it. And that's a big reason why having a side source of income, I think, is important. And I wish someone had told me that early on, so that you can not put all that pressure on your coaching business and on yourself and then come across like as desperate
Yeah.
in these coaching sessions, right? You come across as like, cool, this is my side gig. I'm ready to help you, but I don't need you.
Yeah.
You need me.
You need me. Yeah. I do think, yeah, I think when you take away that extra pressure, because there is some good that can come out when this has to work, right? You're more motivated. Like you're
That's
more,
true.
um, you're like, go, 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 no procrastination. Like I have to make this work,
True.
which is a positive. But I think what comes out of it, what came out of it for me, and probably for you, and a lot of others that we've, went through the program with was that scarcity mindset. It is so scary when you have no income coming in anymore and you have to get paid clients and you're grasping and reaching and you're desperate and people can feel that energy when it comes off that way. And in turn, you end up attracting the wrong clients. You end up pushing abundance away.
Mhm.
And uh, yeah, it just adds to so much stress when really you'll be more successful if you're just having fun,
Yeah.
enjoying what you're doing, and you're not worried about signing someone by the end of the month or like, getting this workshop filled or whatever it is that you're doing. When you take that extra stress off and you're like, okay, it's okay if it doesn't happen because I have, XYZ to fall back on. Um, So yeah, that's a great piece of advice that we were not given at the time. Um, it's just use this as a side gig, and then once it takes off, then transition to, maybe making it like your full-time business. And it's not impossible. We've seen it happen so many times. There are so many successful nurse coaches out there making so much money, living their best life, but there's also some that are struggling, and you can tell. And it's crazy, like the energy shifts where you can see on social media. Like we are in a very big community of nurse coaches now. We've just made so many connections over the years, just being in that space because it's a very small space. Nurse coaches, they pretty much know everybody, all nurse coaches know all nurse coaches. And it's you can tell, who is like thriving and who isn't. And the ones who are thriving follow their joy. They don't care about the money as much as or like signing clients. Like they're just like out there living their best life, offering what they offer, take it or leave it. And people are attracted to that because they want to be like you. They want your opinions. They want your coaching. They want your guidance. And so I think that's like the biggest takeaway is just allow yourself to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And you'll be more successful that way. Which I have to
Yeah.
remind myself that too all the
Yeah.
time.
You don't want to replace one stress for another, right? Like you don't want to
Yeah.
go replace the hospital stress for the scarcity stress that we were just talking about. The reason you followed this nudge to pursue nurse coaching is because you wanted the freedom and the flexibility and the lifestyle that came with not being 100% in the hospital. And so, like, I feel like the real flex is like not the money, but seeing the people who are like out there camping in the middle of the week or, like just living a life that they never would have been able to had they been working full time in the hospital. Um, and I went back to work after I had, quit that job and took a per diem position, which was so perfect for me because it allowed me to create time and space for my coaching schedule and clients, and then also, not lose my skills and my um, connections in the healthcare system. And I had this confidence. I was working in like drawn to psychiatry because I feel like there's a lot of space for coaching in that realm. And I would end up every single day using my coaching skills with clients who were up at the nursing desk or at the med window. And um, it would just be these like little micro coaching sessions that boosted my confidence and my happiness. I would go in to work every day and like say a little prayer, like asking that I'd be able to help someone that day. And I feel like that's the real beauty. You don't have to go all in and start a business. You can use these skills anywhere, including at home with your family, with your friends. That the biggest takeaway from my coaching program that I went through was my own growth, transformation, finding mindfulness, and, getting to this point, like you said. So I'm grateful for that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, like I said, looking back, I don't regret doing any of that because it's just wild to see where I started so unhappy, so unregulated, all these health problems working in the hospital, like me, my health problems. And it was
Yeah.
all from stress and anxiety. And then finally having the courage to step away and do something a little bit scary. And then, that road led to all this healing and figuring out who I am and what I want in life. And, it may not have looked like what I thought it was going to look like, but I think that's the journey. That's life, right? Like you have something in mind. I thought I was going to be a nurse forever and work at bedside forever. That didn't happen. Let me tell you that right now. But yeah, I don't regret it at all. I think like it was a beautiful journey, and like we're still on that journey.
It's happening
Yeah, like it's
every week.
yeah,
We're coaching each other.
going through
And
transformations all the time.
yeah, I like got excited looking back at our nurse coach collection before this call because I haven't been really listening to the meditations in there, but I want to share some of the names of them just so if anyone's listening, you're curious about what kind of support we have. So we have 21 meditations in our nurse coach collection. Just going to name a couple. Reflecting and celebrating growth for the nurse coach, getting unstuck, releasing blocks in your coaching practice. That was a big one for us weekly. Finding your why,
Mm.
clarity on your purpose as a nurse coach, shedding your old self, huge identity shift, stepping into your authentic self as a nurse coach. We have nurse coach exam prep, celebrating your progress, clearing mental clutter, manifesting soul aligned clients, cleansing the energetic body, abundance spiral. Love that name.
Yeah.
Inner healer, wise entrepreneur, archetype journey, intuition building meditation, energy clearing, balancing the business elements, deep chakra alignment, boundary healing, connect with your vision, money mindset. Wow, we got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. It is
Navigating
very,
imposter syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very woo. But I feel like the people who are drawn to nurse coaching are very woo people.
Yeah, these are things that again we wish we had support around, and if we hadn't had each other and that very expensive nurse coach mentorship container, this would have been an ideal form of support. Like, oh my God, I'm feeling imposter syndrome. Let me work through those feelings, listening to someone guide me who has also been there and like very much can resonate with probably similar feelings that you're having today. So, yeah, it's a $30 collection right now, and that's to own it for life. We will be continuously adding to that. And so the resource will just be ever growing. But we wanted to let you know it lives on our Patreon, and we'll be popping some things into YouTube as free resources. But yeah, we're excited for you to check it out and can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah. So we'll link the Patreon below in the comments. I also think if you're watching this and you're interested in nurse coaching in general, we could probably link our two nurse coach um, certification places. You went to Inca, I did the Nurse Coach Collective. I
Mhm.
think they're the two like major biggest ones out there right now. So we can link their information down below if you're interested in exploring what nurse coaching is all about. Um, yeah. So I feel like this was kind of all over the place, but it's a lot to wrap up in like 45 minutes to an hour because it's been a journey. Like we could probably just talk about one aspect for an entire hour.
Yeah. I loved listening to like that's how I got into the Inca program and then into the mentorship was because I would just listen to podcasts about nurse coaching. My 2 hour drive to work into Boston was like, oh, there's other people that get it or that relate to me. And so hopefully, yeah, hopefully you're listening to this and can relate to some bits. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to message us directly. We love connecting and supporting our fellow nurse coach community.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do you want to lead us out in our breathing exercises before we peace out?
Cleansing, closing breaths. Yes. So that was a lot. If you're sitting in a seat, feel that chair holding you. Feel your feet grounded on the earth below you if it's safe to do so. Relax your shoulders and soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever feels right. And let's just take 3 conscious, deep breaths together. Feeling that cool air enter in through your nostrils. Feeling those ribs expand, your belly rise. Holding for a moment and taking a nice, long, deep exhale on the way out. Inhale when you're ready. Hold for a moment at the top. Nice, deep, long exhale, maybe with an audible sigh if that feels right. One more, the biggest breath yet today. Hold for a moment or two, and a deep, long, audible exhale on the way out. Gently wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe rubbing your hands together. Slowly blinking open your eyes if they're closed. Hope everyone has a beautiful, peaceful, grounded rest of your day. And we can't wait to see you next time.
Yay.
Thank you.